the teams from other regions. I'm really curious to see like teams from NA, how they play, Korean teams, Chinese teams, if they're really so superior to European teams. I would like to play against Cloud9 and MVP Ozone because they receive a lot of hype and they are considered the best teams. So I would like to see it for myself.
Welcome back to the League of Legends Season 3 World Championship live from Los Angeles, California, and it's time for our 9th game in this massive day of matches as the Philippines MSK take on Europe's Fnatic. And both of these teams come into this match off disappointing performances earlier on in the day, Jack.
Yeah, first game of the group, Fnatic got manhandled by Mandatory, Cloud, and Vulcan. Their first game, of course, they got caught out at level 1, actually, gave up 2 kills, and then they could never really claw their way back in that game. But as one-sided as Fnatic's match was, MSK's loss to Gambit was even more lopsided. Even though the Southeast Asian champs got first blood, they still got beaten by Gambit in just 25 minutes, Joe.
Well, both of these teams need to set those losses aside and regroup for this match because the good news is that one of these teams is going to be 1-1 at the end of the day.
Hey.
Bad news, of course, for the other team is that they're going to be 0-2 by the end of it.
It's got to happen to someone.
Well, let's have a look then and check out the starting lineups for these two teams. And on the blue side, it is MSK. Their top laner, Snoik, jungler, Kaigu, mid lane, Yume, AD carry, EXO, and support player, TG.
And on the red side this time, it's going to be Fnatic with Soaz in the top lane, Cyanide in the jungle, XPeke in the mid lane, Pushu on AD carry, and Yellowstar, of course, on support.
So, as we said here, Jack, a lot of work to be done for both these teams. I think we can say pretty safely that Fnatic are still big favourites in this game. I mean, some would say a shock result for them losing out to Vulcan, but if we looked at the actual game performance, Vulcan were quite simply the better team. Yeah,
Vulcan was beating Fnatic very badly, but we have to still kind of call that a bit of an upset. That was the only game all day that the analyst desk had dissension in the picks. That's how Doublelift and the caster team is actually ahead of the other two analysts right now. But I think so much of that game was from early on, and Fnatic just kind of getting their feet wet here at Worlds. I don't think we can fully judge their team off of this. I mean, that's why we're playing a double round robin here. That's why they get to play 8 games, and Fnatic, they're going to start their ascent back in this group, I think, in this game.
Well, let's have a look then at the bans here, and we can say pretty safely that MSK are targeting XPeke here. Kassadin, Ari, Fizz, 3 champions aimed at XPeke. Fnatic themselves taking out 2 supports with Thresh and Sona, and the Zed as well.
Yeah, that's very targeted directly at XPeke, but if you're a team scouting Fnatic, yeah, that's what you're going to do against them. I still wonder what kind of value MSK is going to be getting out of their picks, though, because in their game against Gambit, even though MSK was on the red side, their second and third picks were Nocturne and Fiddlesticks. It seems like their value of powerful champions is just different than what a lot of the rest of the world is on right now. Sure, they were able to first pick the Orianna, but that still leaves Fnatic numerous options. If they want to go Shen for split pushing, they're able to. Luckily for MSK, you know, Zed was actually banned out for Fnatic, so XPeke can't play that assassin. 4 assassins ended up being banned out, but still, I think it leaves most of the world open to Fnatic and what they want to pick here.
Well, Orianna was the first selection here for MSK. We've seen a lot of Orianna today.
We really have. It's kind of the counter assassin that we see, plus she's just a generalist in a sense. We saw a lot of Orianna in Season 2 World Championship as well, and she's had her ups and downs, but she's still just coming in pretty strong for this one. First picking it, once again, it's a generalist pick, though. It doesn't tell you any direction that MSK is going in their team composition.
Well, let's have a look at the other side then. Now, this Shen pick for Fnatic, famously, of course, they picked to Shen earlier on in the summer split, and so I says, you know what, I just don't want to play that. So what they did was Yellowstar then picked Blitzcrank, and they switched roles with Yellowstar going top lane and Soaz to the bottom. Not going to go too far and read into that one just yet here. Could just be Soaz being almost forced to play that one. He's been pretty vocal about not enjoying playing that Shen, even though he's a pretty strong champion, isn't he?
It seems weird that you would hate playing Shen but love playing Yorick. Something about Soaz's values right now for these guys. MSK, of course, picking the Corki. We've seen a lot of Corki picks, mixed Corki success. I'd have to say. He's starting to get banned. I'm expecting him to get picked or banned in almost every game here at the World Championships. The Trinity Force, as well as the buffs he's received over time. And also because we have such an assassin-dominated game right now, the fact that Corki can sit so far back with his missile barrage and still have a large impact in teamfights, I think just makes him an extremely attractive pick here at the World Championships.
Well, that will be locked in, and Fnatic move over to their choices. The Caitlyn going to be picked up here. That's, of course, the champion that they used in the AD carry role earlier on in that loss to Vulcan. Pushu never really getting started there, but Peke going for the Diana, and again, this fits into that whole assassin role that he loves to play.
Fnatic needs to make sure they have enough synergy in their team compositions, because they didn't really have it in their team composition against Vulcan, and this comp so far is extremely all-in, which means that they need to bring high amounts of coordination to make sure that they are going in at the same time and effectively avoiding TG Zyra. Because Zyra is one of the best champions at stopping the counter dive, and Fnatic has essentially picked at least the Diana phase of their dive composition straight into what is close to a counter. So they have to be, I'd almost say, more split-push focused, more cautious about what they're doing, because they're bringing so many melees that disaster can actually happen fairly readily if Fnatic does not execute properly.
Well, we will see a Jarvan the 4th locked in here for MSK. Now, this is probably worth pointing out that they played in the qualifiers, in the Southeast Asian qualifiers, Jarvan in the top lane. Played 2 games with him, did Snoy, actually, in those qualifiers, and won both of them. So, with that Lee Sin locked in there, can probably expect that Jarvan will go to top lane. But on saying that as well, Snoy played Lee Sin in the top lane, so it's anybody's guess.
It's going to be a jungler in the top lane, one way or the other, or what we're used to seeing in the jungle. And that's interesting, going directly against Shen, who maybe Yellow Star, maybe Soaz, we're not really sure about that. It's tough to get over aggressive there, knowing it's Leona. That's a classic Fnatic pick, more so when they had N-rated as support.
Yeah.
But it just adds to Fnatic right now. They are going in. Everyone will just dive on top.
Going straight in there for the fight, and it's been a while since we've seen Leona really coming in. We were actually talking about it earlier, that we're seeing a lot more Corki. Where's the Leona, the Corki Leona lane that actually N-rated and Yellow Star themselves when they were back playing for Against All Authority? It seems like 2 years ago by now, and it probably actually is by then. The fact that they made that so famous. Yellow Star obviously moving into the support role this season. We'll see how we can handle that Leona.
Yeah, and just fundamentally here, Fnatic all about engaging the hard team fights. MSK is going to have a little bit of that as well with the top lane Jarvan, who's going to have to be so aggressive for them. And Snoy really has his work cut out for him here, trying to snowball ahead with the top lane Jarvan against such a defensive laner like Soaz Shen.
Well, before we get into the match, let's have a look what you guys at home were thinking about this one. According to LOLesports.com, 83% of you believe that Fnatic are going to come out on top. And all our analysts picked Fnatic as well.
Absolutely. I mean, MSK is the dark horse here.
Yeah.
In generous terms, right? They're a huge underdog. Fnatic, even though they had that disappointing loss to Vulcan where they lost very badly, is still the #1 seed from Europe. They're still the Summer Split and Spring Split champions of the European LCS, and 2 members of their team were the Season 1 champions. So it's just so much experience against effectively newcomers in MSK.
Yeah, and we'll see how MSK have really changed things up in the small break that they've had here, because, quite frankly, against Gambit, they got off to a decent start, but after that, it was pretty much all downhill straight away.
Yeah, MSK got the first blood, but then, honestly, we were talking with all the analysts in the back as well, and we were talking about how Fiddlestick's support wasn't making too many smooth plays. TG definitely struggled later on, and that was against what is the weak point of Gambit's team from a lot of people's viewpoints. Their bottom lane right now, Voidal and Genja, and it was still working well for them. And you look at a team like Fnatic, Pushu has been playing so well on Caitlyn, especially during Fnatic's run. They have a very aggressive support in Leona. That is going to be a very dangerous battle for MSK. Any type of adjustments they have to make, I feel like, has to start from that bottom lane, though.
Yeah, and on the same token, this is probably the best time in the whole World Championship, in this double round-robin group stage that we've got going, to beat Fnatic. Coming off of a loss into this one, but we are going to get into game. It's MSK versus Fnatic here, Game 9 of our epic opening day. The question is, what are we going to be seeing from both of these teams? Coming in off a loss on both sides, MSK on paper's the massive underdog for this one, but can they pull out that shock?
And you've been watching Fnatic all year, Joe. You never know what Fnatic you're going to get. Sometimes they look absolutely amazing, like they could beat any team in the world. Even before Season 3 started, they finished second at IPL 5, which was one of the largest giant international tournaments we have, like, they can turn it on in certain situations, but you just never know if it's going to happen. They lose terribly and win extraordinarily.
So here we see at level 1 already. Little bit of exchange going out there. Lee Sin just throwing that Sonic Wave out, hoping to catch someone, but Fnatic, as you can see, not being spotted fully up until now. MSK have to be very, very careful here.
Fnatic, of course, has the 2 wards in their red buff. We've seen a little bit of action, actually, at level 1 thus far in the World Championships, because the scouting time for a lot of these teams was longer than they're kind of used to, and that's one thing you get to do if you're really trying to take down a team and scouting them well, is just track their level 1 movements. And since so many teams have just kind of defaulted into this ward the enemy red buff, we may be seeing some counterattacks here, because you can see now Fnatic, they were kind of going in, they glad to taunt.
There's the taunt going down, Yume going very, very low, flash in there, first blood comes down, it's Soaz that picks it up there on Shen. Dream start coming out here for Fnatic.
Taunt flash right there from Soaz, extending the range of his taunt and catching Yume completely off guard. All of MSK was actually worried about the people that were in the red buff area, thinking, oh, Fnatic's going to slowly walk up towards us there. Even we were a little bit lulled. That's when Soaz pounced, and that gives Fnatic that level 1 that they so clearly needed. In Fnatic's defeat to Vulcan, they lost 2 kills shortly after they were taking their red buff. This is just the polar opposite of that game against MSK.
So then starts for the junglers there. We saw Cyanide taking his blue buff. Kaigo on the other side for MSK doing a very similar thing, but they have those wards down over by red. Kaigo might have a look and see if he can get a steal over there.
We're going to be seeing a whole bunch more jungle battling right now, but I actually think XPeke is potentially able to go and help out Kaigo right here. Cyanide needs to be able to get aggressive up against Lee Sin and not let him counter jungle up here.
There we go, Kaigo coming in. The Big Wraith is still there. Cyanide gonna come through. He doesn't want to let that one go as Peke comes around as well. Kaigo is level 2 right now, but can he escape without burning that flash off? There's the jump in. Knock up, not quite landing. Kaigo gets away, but there is TG down in the bottom lane. And Fnatic on both sides of the map here putting down pressure and picking up kills.
Level 2 all in by Yellowstar and Pushu. Leona landed the Zenith Blade, I imagine, and must have just executed a clean kill onto TG. It was level 2 versus level 1. MSK was caught outside the turret, and we talked about MSK's bottom lane having to perform if they wanted to have a chance in this game against Fnatic. And just like the level 1, this bottom lane is an early disaster for MSK.
Disaster indeed. Already that kill going over to the Caitlyn. Obviously, we saw XPeke getting involved at that level 1 first blood, which gave him that nice assist as well. So across the board, Fnatic having a very solid start to this one. And honestly, as the European champions of the spring split and the summer split coming into this one, this is a turn of fortunes that they've really needed.
And Fnatic's not going to be 0-1 or winless in a group for very long with the history of this team. And also, knowing how frustrating they can be to play against. They have a style that is generally unique to them. They do so much creative split pushing. The way Soaz and XPeke roam around together and kind of double team in so many different situations. Now that Soaz is on, you know, it's weird to call Shen a playmaker, but it is a playmaker sometimes when it's in the hands of Fnatic, because he could just appear with XPeke or with the main squad and create 2 separate areas of threat across the map. You give Fnatic an early lead like this, it means Soaz is going to be able to happily farm up until level 6. Peke will be able to start roaming around to the bottom lane, and unless MSK does something drastic, I feel like Fnatic is just on execution mode right now.
See them trying to get control back of those bottom bushes there of pink ward. What's the green ward on the top side of it? They don't want Yellowstar coming sliding out with that Zenith Blade and locking them up like happened early on to give Fnatic that lead. And you can see it's already 1,000 gold lead for Fnatic. We're not even 5 minutes into this game. That's worrying signs for MSK. And whilst it is a double round robin tournament, these teams are playing a lot of games. You can't afford to be, you know, stringing a 0-2, 0-3 at the start of it.
I mean, knowing that it's only 2 teams that move out of each group as well, you need to be much better than 50-50. I think you lose 3 games, that's potentially enough to knock you out of this one. Taunt goes for Soaz, they get it out of Snoy.
Snoy getting knocked up there, the Ignite already down onto him, but he will actually back away onto the tower. Meanwhile, Yellowstar down in this bottom lane going very, very low there. Pushu actually putting down a lot of damage from this one, decides not to follow up though, and no kills happening.
Still a bunch of damage down onto Exo, and he is out of health potions. Meanwhile, there's no help that Snoy can really get in that lane that's going to completely save the turret. Really, Fnatic seeming to have control of all of these lanes. Even if the minion farm in the bottom lane isn't going their way, it's only because Pushu went back and shopped so early.
Double Doran's Blade plus the boots of speed for Pushu gives him a lot more power than this Corki can really be throwing out onto him at this stage. Meanwhile, in that mid lane, both sat at level 5 right now, about half away in there towards level 6. And we'll see if that then impacts the Cyanide coming here around the side of the shield, put down onto Yume, and he'll just speed off towards that river. Stay safe.
It's actually a little early for that gank from Cyanide. I feel like they could have waited for Peke to hit level 6, which he's actually done right now, and he's just going in by himself.
Going straight in onto that one, and with the Ignite down, an easy kill to finish off there, and that puts Fnatic now 3-0 up, and honestly, Jack, something needs to change, and very quickly here for MSK.
Yeah, they need to start winning lanes, which is a lot easier said than done. Laning phase is generally one of the things that teams spend years working on. Cyanide now looking to tower dive Kaiju. Look out.
He actually flashes away from that one there. Did get slowed in the end. Peke diving in onto him. Will he keep going from this one? He's going to have a look as the Sonic Wave actually missing there point blank from Kaigu. He's going to bring out the palm tree, give it a kick, and get back home to base.
He needs to refill his coconut because he just threw that one away. He wasn't able to get Xpeke underneath the turret. Yikes, Joe. 1.8k, only 7 minutes in. Yellowstar hasn't even hit level 6 in this lane yet. He's just going to be able to light up TG, I feel like, when he hits level 6 on Leona, and they are going to blow away that bottom lane. But then the rest of MSK isn't able to get pressure going either. You pick Jarvan for the top lane, as Snoy has done, because you need to be able to aggress early, but Soaz has made his defensive items. Snoy's actually went double Dorans, and he's actually fairly contented just farming out. If anything, MSK needs to take Jarvan and start moving him around the map. They almost just need to accept that Soaz is going to get his farm and try and create any kind of action. But it's almost too late for that at this point, because Soaz has his stand united on Shen. So Fnatic is already in execution mode, being able to skirmish all around the map.
We'll see where that stand united gets involved here. Soaz certainly not scared to press that R button and get himself down there for assists and kills with the rest of his team. Only Fnatic, it's approaching 2,000 gold. We're 8 minutes into this one. You feel like no lane is safe right now for MSK, particularly these bottom and middle lanes where, you know, we've seen Leona time and time again going in there. Single solar flare can lock them up, and things could get very bad down there. At the same time, Xpeke in the mid lane, we've seen he's not scared of jumping straight on top of Yume.
And an early game lead like this, well, obviously it's nice to have with any composition. For a team that has to dive all in and really has to commit to every team fights, it's actually pretty crucial that they have a lead this big, so they can actually just execute their dives later on in the game without the repercussions of getting caught by a Zyra.
There is Peke once again going in. Yume losing half of his health as Exo. Gonna get locked up here, but couldn't quite lock him down much, enough to finish off a kill there, but they trade round about half health apiece.
You know what, though? That is the Zyra Solar Flare down, so at least MSK's bottom lane lives to fight for another Solar Flare cooldown at least. They stopped that from happening. TG still hasn't hit his ultimate yet on Zyra. Maybe that's a little window for MSK to come back, but it seems very doubtful.
So as they're continuing to bully that top lane, Kaigu actually coming down to the bottom lane here, but they need to make sure that they get vision control. TG going to actually miss here. They are going to go on towards him. Can they finish him off? Only one more auto attack from Butcher will do it. Kill does come back there though for Exo. That will be a 1-for-1 in this bottom lane, the first kill of MSK's game.
A fairly ill-advised flash actually by Pushu coming in there, because Kaigu was just ready there for the kill backwards. Farm-wise, Exo sticking with Pushu. It's just the support battle, really, I think, is Yellowstar just destroying TG. With the jungle help there, it helps them pull back a little bit because they took the 2-kill bounty that Pushu had accumulated and fed it right back to Exo.
Let's have a look down some of the items then to really compare those. And those AD carries a good place to look at. Level now on CS. Kills not too far away. Phage and the makings of that Sheen coming out there as well for Corki. Other side, see the pickaxe and a Vamp Scepter with those double Dorans played for Pushu's Caitlyn.
Obviously the Trinity Force is coming for Exo. That's what all the Corkis have been doing right now. Exo needs to get there very quickly and use that boost in power to try and claw MSK's way back in this game, because if he lets Pushu get to whatever he's going here. It could be Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer he's trending towards, or those could be build components for the Bloodthirster Last Whisper kind of caster Caitlyn build we've seen a lot of popularity from. But if Pushu hits either of those item thresholds kind of before EXO has done work with his Trinity Force, it's basically curtains for MSK.
And there we go, Solar Flare coming in once again. Stranglethorn's actually put down here from TG, but both of Mineski's bottom lane losing half HP. There comes the ace in the hole. Won't get them a kill, but it will set them up for Dragon.
Right now, MSK actually has their top lane Jarvan all the way in base and a very low bottom lane. That's the classic gank before you take an objective. You're not actually ganking for the kill, you're ganking to get the enemy team low so that the Dragon contention is not an option.
And it wasn't an option, and that will bring Fnatic now to 2,700 gold in the lead from this one. There you see Pushu's Caitlyn stats, and doing well with it, honestly, so far up until now. Pushu, I have to say, overall, has done very, very well since coming into Fnatic.
Especially considering the circumstances with which Pushu was added to the team. We know Yellowstar was the AD carry of Fnatic at the start of the summer split, and then Rated was actually the support. So they role swapped Yellowstar to the support role, and then brought Pushu in effectively temporarily because Reckless, the 16-year-old superstar AD carry that is signed to Fnatic, is still expected to join Fnatic for Season 4, and at the time, maybe later on in the Season 3 World Championships, as soon the day he turned 17 was the plan for maybe bringing him in. But Fnatic did so well with Pushu, and also Reckless doesn't turn 17 until the last day of the group stage, that they have just made the decision that it's Pushu's job now. He's the AD carry, he's who got Fnatic here, and it shows in his play.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved, I have to add to that one as well. Top lane, we actually have Aatrox waiting here. Cyanide was just hanging around to see if they could get an opportunity on Snowy. Snowy's actually backed away from this one, and honestly, with that recall now coming in, you see on your minimap, this should be the first tower of the game for Fnatic.
Yeah, things not working out very well for Snowy's top lane. It's a lane we haven't spent very much attention on, but Soaz, even though he doesn't like playing Shen, is very good at it.
Yeah. Because
he's been able to farm up his Sunfire cape against Jarvan, who should be an incredibly aggressive early laner. You can see Snowy is probably going for a Ravenous Hydra type build on Jarvan to try and burst people out, but he is just so far away from those items at this point that Soaz is just dominating.
And there is that tower going down, only going to increase Fnatic's grip on this second game for both teams here in Group B. Let's have a look down the CS here. It honestly is not really massive apart from that top lane. Everywhere else is actually really even in terms of the creeps.
So a little bit of farm has been able to get taken back by Mineski, but the rest of the game is still just going Fnatic's way. The 4 kills to the 1, it's reminiscent of just a team that almost understands the game better for Fnatic, or they have more experience, because they know that the minion farm isn't the only important thing. It's about being able to push up to the enemy turret and being the team that has the freedom to make moves.
Okay, going in here on towards Yume. Will they go further? Yes, they will. Knockup comes down. Yume going to be bursted. There is Kaigo kicking Peke behind the turret, but that's probably going to make it harder for him now to escape this one, as he is going to go over on towards the red buff. Can he keep this one going, though? Bottom lane from Fnatic not coming up. They realize, okay, we can steal away this red buff. Peke actually just spotting the back end there of Kaigo. Will he be able to follow through? No, off to a ward, but this is a red buff steal and another kill for Fnatic either way.
Yeah, and this is exactly what happens when one team is way more pushed up than the other. There's actually a fight in the bottom lane while this was happening. They forced a flash with the solar flare and then just bursted out TG. It's always that Zyra who's getting blown up by the sunlight combo of Yellowstar and Pushu right now. The bottom lane for Fnatic is the strong point, which is actually not something we say every day when there's ex-Peke on the team.
No, that's certainly true. Peke, I think we could say, being a lot quieter than that bottom lane up until now. Currently, Pushu is sat at 3-1-0 as he will recall, get himself that BF sword, which still doesn't give us the, or I'm saying doesn't give us a clue. We could still see either that Bloodthirster or the Infinity Edge coming out, so we'll have to wait a little longer for that one. On the other side, though, or in his mid lane at least, Abyssal Scepter is now done for Peke.
Yeah, and he also built what I believe are Alacrity boots on Diana, so that's the 15 move speed enhancement so early on into the game. I feel like he's building those for fun mainly right now, because he just wants to be able to chase people down in extended engagements. When Fnatic has a lead like this, it's really just hunting season for them. So they want to be able to catch everyone on MSK, knowing MSK can't really fight back right now.
I see. All outer turrets now down. There goes the ultimate out. There is a shockwave coming back in, but do you escape this one? Not on your life. That's a double kill down for Pushu and an inner turret. Meanwhile, MSK pushing the outer turret in the bottom lane.
And MSK has got to get back to their base right now. This is 5 members of Fnatic 16 minutes into the game, pushing your inhibitor turret. They already got 2 kills. They're looking for more, mainly the turret.
Yeah, going in on towards Snoy there, and actually Nexus turrets that were hitting XPK. Not something you usually say at this point of the game, but Fnatic either way doing a great job. They're going to take down the first inhibitor of the game.
Fnatic was not happy about that loss to Vulcan. We can say that. And they are taking it out on MSK right now.
Poor MSK, actually.
Oh, no.
As we said, they had a decent start. So that's on Fnatic actually not leaving. They're going to come around the corner from this one. Good Strangle Thorns coming down. Yellow Star falling low. But Fnatic dive right back in there, picking themselves up a couple more kills. EXO's not going to be able to escape. I'd be surprised if Yume makes it. Ace in the hole will finish off. And that will be an ace coming down from Fnatic. 16 minutes, 30 seconds in. Minions are coming. They can win this game.
How long is this game going to be? There's 14-second death timers. The death timers are so short right now, but Fnatic might have the fastest game in the history of competitive League of Legends.
Well, mine, I think, is maybe an understatement. I think they're going to do this one now. Those Nexus turrets already been beaten down thoroughly by Fnatic.
Can they really do
They're
this?
They're going to take it down. The Nexus is going to fall here. Fnatic get it down to half. MSK coming up the spawn. They're going to try and hold on to this one for a final time. It looks like they're doing a good job of it as well. Pushu falls down and Fnatic back off. I was so sure. Fnatic were even so sure that they were sticking around for that one. Snowy now chasing down as well. Pekka and Sarge trying to make a run for things, but my lord, 16 and a half minutes in and they've got down both Nexus turrets.
That was nearly a 17-minute win by Fnatic. That would have been completely unheard of. Fnatic has this game in the bag. It's about the race to the finish now.
Drago manages to get back on towards TG. They're almost losing out to that Leona and a very, very unhealthy XPK Diana. Let's have a look at that one again.
Yeah, they hid in the fog of war to get this initiation, and since MSK had already lost their inhibitor, they didn't expect to see Fnatic there, but then once they found them, the fight just had to break out. They comboed so well with Aatrox into all of Caitlyn's pass-through damage right there, and it's the coordination of the team that all has to go in together. They did so, and because they were so far ahead, it just gave them the clean chase down ace. Well, and you know, it wouldn't have been the fastest game in competitive League of Legends. You casted that, actually.
I did. Armageddon have got something to say. They want to keep their title, actually, I think, of losing the fastest game ever. Either way, MSK, they're struggling here, I think, is the understatement of the century so far. Fnatic already streaming back down towards the base. The Nexus is at half HP right now. They've just won a fight so incredibly cleanly. Why stop now?
Overmatched might be a good word for it right now because Fnatic is so far up in experience and gold. Pushu, though, goes down. This might slow down Fnatic. They might just want to try to finish off that Nexus, though. Soaz is on it.
Soaz on it. There's a shockwave on the backside. Yellow Star going to fall, but Soaz, in the meantime, is still going around this backside. EXO getting very low. There are the Strangle Thorns put down as a great taunt comes in. Here comes the rest of the team, though, and Soaz having to back away from this. Peke, full HP off to the bottom side, realizes he can't probably take 4 of them down. Oh, or can he?
Well,
maybe can. Goes straight back in there. Is he going to try and backdoor and be the hero once again from this one? Drags all 3 in, flashes away, avoids the knockup. Aatrox still off to the side, will knock up Yume. He actually goes down. Finally, they've killed off XPK. Cyanide will die as well. MSK holding on.
It's a little sloppy for Fnatic right now. When you take down 2 Nexus turrets at 16 minutes and 40 seconds, sometimes you might get a little overconfident. Pushu right here gets caught by 1 too many missiles from EXO. Finished with the last execute there. And then Fnatic has the confidence here to just say, let's end the game. You can tell they're not actually in game time mode right now because they thought they had the game won at 16 minutes. So Soaz split off to hit the Nexus while the rest of the team was actually fighting. And that just created a split up Fnatic team who, even with that huge lead, you saw if they're actually not going in together, it doesn't work. Fnatic does need to be able to initiate together if they just take a little bit of time with their next push, or if they secure a couple objectives like the 20-minute Baron, which would be also extremely fast. They should be able to roll into the base and actually take that Nexus. But another mismatched, sloppy, one-time push into the base where, you know, Soaz had a bit of fun. So did XPeke. He tried to be a hero. They need to win the game.
Well, there is your mate face checking into a brush with a Shen who has a Warmogs and a Sunfire cape right now. Not the kind of Shen that you take down in a 1 versus 1 scenario. It doesn't matter who you are on that MSK team right now. You're probably not going to kill him very quickly. Right now, Fnatic have almost encircled MSK here. As we've seen them pushing in towards this inner turret in that top lane with the Shen and Aatrox combo. Now Caitlyn moving in. Infinity Edge Zeal is what Pushu currently has on board at 7-3-4 as well, picking up some nice kills into this one. And Fnatic, they're just going to push straight down this top lane.
They know they have an exposed inhibitor in the mid lane as well, but if they can catch a dive, they're going to go for it. They have a little bit of pink ward control inside Mineski's jungle. And this is a game for Fnatic that they nearly won at 17 minutes. We got to remember this. They're still...
I think it was actually 16.5, Jack, but...
Well, they had the double Nexus turrets down at 16.5.
That's
I
true.
think it's close. Yeah, I was looking at the clock. I was thinking it was about 17 minutes. They're going to take this Baron in the wards. If this turned into a disaster, because they actually don't have enough damage to burst this Baron down before Mineski gets a contest, we're actually going to have to see a fight here. Fnatic needs to have the willingness to peel off and get a fight.
Well, let's see what Mineski can put together from this one. Yellow Star actually flashing over. Solar Flare goes down, but onto Corki, who simply Valkyries over the trees and says, nope, you're not going to fight me there. Lee Sin is actually up by Baron. He might want to think about recalling from this one because Fnatic are starting to push in.
Yeah, he was thinking about the steal for a little too long. That would have been a very impressive steal if he could spike the Baron down from 12,000 health. You know, that Baron doesn't necessarily work for Fnatic. They need to get their stuff together right now because they've had control of this game. They took out their frustrations on Mineski, and then they kind of relaxed a little bit. It's time to focus a bit for Fnatic for a couple more minutes, finish off Mineski here.
Or Mineski going to put together the best
Greatest
comeback that we've
comeback
ever
in
seen
history.
in League of Legends. I wouldn't hold your breath for that one right now. Well, who knows? We've seen... No, we haven't seen Stranger Things. Stop kidding yourself, Joe. Peke here hammering away on the inhibitor. The top lane was pushed. Mineski being split around here between that top and middle lane. And it should just be a matter of time here before Fnatic get it right.
Well, it's 4 people who dive in all at once for Fnatic with Pushu in the back trying to play cleanup. I almost feel like they're going to wait for Peke to get a kill while trying to push the inhibitor, or they're going to find a clean initiation around the side while they're sieging down this turret. If TG gets taken half health as well, though, it might just signal go for Fnatic.
Grasping Roots actually came in there, but onto Soaz. Is he really the target you want to hit? Probably not at this point. That turret being weeded down to half HP. And XPK is still pushing towards that inhibitor. EXO doing a good job here with Corki of holding him off that one for now, though. And credit to Mineski, they've held out quite a long time on this situation.
And it's tough. When you lose your Nexus turrets at 16.5 minutes, you lose morale a lot of the time. And Mineski, to their credit, has fought in this one. It is the World Championships for them. They can't just... They're not just going to surrender, and they're showing that as a team right here.
Never surrender. That's a good philosophy, I think, because you never quite know when it's going to get turned around. There is Cyanide being stopped by the minions from going home. See, even the minions want to help Mineski out for this one, slowing down Cyanide's recall. Soaz will be headed back home as well. XPK actually going to go farm down on this bottom lane, and we are going to see a couple of more items coming out. Pushu adding in that static shift now. We've got a Zhonya's Hourglass for XPK, which means that he's going to be feeling a lot more comfortable to dive in. But look at this, Mineski have pushed out in this middle lane. They might be on for their second turret of the game here.
They want to get something back, but here's the shut-off onto the Aatrox. You're in trouble, Mineski.
You're in trouble. Knocked straight up in the air. There are the Stranglethorns. They won't knock anyone down. Now Kaigu going to be the target from this one. Can they get on into him before he escapes? Ace in the hole comes flying through, but he's still alive. Those wolves going to be a friendly target for him. Or has he got what it takes to get over? No! He's failed his flash on that one. That means 2 men down here now for Mineski. It's his surely game.
This is it. It's 25 minutes. This was the time of the Gambit first Mineski game, and this will be the time of the Fnatic first Mineski game as well. 5-on-3 onto the Nexus. Fnatic pushing in.
Well, surely going to be looking for a few kills before they actually end up finish this one off. Apparently, I don't know Fnatic well enough. They're going to go straight for this one. Soa's actually tanking things up. Peke dives in on towards Exo. There is Cataclysm down by Jarvan, but he's squishing up at this point with this lead for Fnatic to just be taken out. But look at Yume and Exo. They're still managing to hold them off. Nexus down to half HP again, and Fnatic, they're backing off.
Yep. Fnatic is backing off once again. Maybe they're going to play around the side here, but there's a ward down, and that means Fnatic has to continue to back away. You know, I've always been told you don't play with your food because sometimes it's going to mess up the food. I don't know.
Okay.
The food's just going to somehow get angry or something. You're going to ruin the taste, and at some point, it's going to backfire. Fnatic should have ended this game.
It's a brilliant analogy. I'm not sure it's quite so...
No.
Related to this
I
one.
missed the mark on that one.
But let's look at the score. I mean, 19 to 10. Not a bad kill score against Fnatic.
No.
The gold is only 10,000, I say, with the lightest of terms there. It's the turrets that obviously Fnatic made from that one play going straight through middle, or two plays it technically was, because they came back and fought them on that inhibitor. But MSK are not giving up here. This is the right spirit to have when they've still got a load more games to play in the group stage.
Yeah, and the gold lead was 10,000 about 8 minutes ago. This is not good for TG, though.
And he's actually going to root up Cyanide here. Actually throws down the Stranglethorns, does manage to knock him up. TG gonna survive.
Kaigu has been waiting for this Baron steal for quite some time.
If he steals this, the crowd here is going to go absolutely wild.
He would earn it if he was there, because he has been waiting in that push. There's no way Fnatic knows he's there. He also has no way of supporting the rest of MSK in a team fight. But he's going to get this. He's got the ward. Gelstar, don't kill the ward. Let him have it. Let him see.
Aww. He's going to need someone to go in there. He's not going to give up on this one, though. Fnatic, are they going to keep going Baron? Are they going to come off it? They're actually coming off it from this one. Peke is waiting in the brush. There's the one kill. Snowy goes down. That's 2 for nothing. And now MSK have to recall. Lee Sin finally does hit that B button. Not sure Exo's going to be so lucky with this one. Peke is literally just going to hold him away. Fnatic are looking to win it here.
Means the base defenders aren't there right now. It's a jungler and a support. Call number 3, Fnatic. They're going to end the game here, Joe.
There's a kick to the face for Soaz, but can they hold off here on this Nexus? Already down to half for the 3rd or 4th time in this game so far, but Fnatic decides to go in. They're going to pick up the victory here in 27 minutes and 40 seconds. Tell you what, that's 10 minutes longer than I expected MSK to be holding off after what happened to them after those team fights, with Fnatic pushing so decisively on through.
That was a rather resilient Nexus for MSK, but if anyone knows how to finish him off, it's Xpeke. He was able to fly in right at the end of that game, 619 on Diana. That just evens up Fnatic and probably gives them a pretty positive feeling heading into tomorrow when they're playing a couple more games. Made up for that loss for Vulcan and then some with a very decisive victory over MSK. And Joe, I have to say for MSK, things are not looking good for them. This was a very one-sided defeat to Fnatic, where they didn't really seem to have a window.
Well, it's not a surprise to us, I think we can say from this one. MSK, I think, were